Guess what? I'm back in the hot seat and ready to get into this market. If you're ready to keep trading today, let me know in the chat. What's your number one stock to look for a trade today? Whether it be to the bull side or the bear side, let us know in the chat so we can see what you guys are watching today. Let's get into it. Live trading with Benzinga.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, traders, let's get after it. We got Ryan in the house. We're going to get into some live trading action. Of course, we'll take a look at some catalysts that are out in the market, but none greater than, Twitter is going private. Finally, Elon going to take it. What do you feel about this, Ryan?
I like it. I like it. And actually, part of me thinks that if he can run the company well, fix some of the problems that are obvious, this actually might be a good buy from 54.20. Now, we're going to need the market to cooperate in order for that to happen. Full disclosure, I'm not going out and buying it. So in any case, you said they're gonna take it private, and it's the shareholders that are holding it should be paid 54.20.
Yeah, at least from right now, the deal is supposed to go through at 54.20. And his deal was what? To take Twitter private, right? And so if the deal would actually close and finalize, boom, there goes the Twitter shares.
So putting the stock aside, I actually think that this is better for the actual product itself and the service.
I agree.
It's wrought with problems right now. They're very, very obvious. You can go on Twitter and within 20 minutes, you'll see multiple people from all different walks of life complaining about a lot of the Twitter problems. So I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic that he can fix it.
Now, one thing I was questioning on pre-market prep, and I'll throw the question to you, Ryan, is do you think that he'll turn it around and make it a subscription product versus let's focus on the amount of subscribers and monetizing data? Will he focus more on creating just a subscription product and kind of keep it that way?
I would not be shocked if that was the case. I think that offering or charging even a small amount, like $3 a month or $4 a month for access, would eliminate a lot of the bot problem right off the top. So I think that that's absolutely going to be looked at. Is he going to go that way? I can't say. What's the price going to be? I can't say that either. I also wouldn't be surprised if there were tiers, right? So for example, you can set up a free account, but you're limited to number of tweets per day, which would also destroy bots and how they go after specific posts and whatever algorithms they're using. Yeah. So I think that there's a number of ways that they can do this. I have no inclination about what they're going to do, but I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. So we're just going to have to wait and see.
Well, I will give you one thing, Ryan. We both kind of gave the same number. Where I was like 3 or 4.
Well, that's the thing. I think that one of the issues that you're going to run into is so many people use Twitter now, and they're used to it being free. So I'm not sure that you're going to be able to retain users, especially users that feel like they're being censored. I don't think you're going to be able to retain them by going from a free product for what? 2008 to 14 years. I don't think you're going to be able to be like, okay, now this product costs $20 a month. I don't think that's going to fly with everybody. And I think you'd cut your users pretty quick. So I would imagine they would start off small or start off with like a tiered package.
Yeah. My biggest thing is I think they need to, you guys heard it from Elon this morning. He's talking about making an app called X from Twitter. And so in my eyes, I think what he's going to go ahead and do is he's going to need some revenue, right? If he wants to go ahead and create this, super app, he's going to need to pay a lot of these developers. He's going to need some cash. I think what he's going to do here is create kind of more of a private based app that has everything in one. But the question is, where will the money come from and how does he raise that money will be the fun thing to find out. All right, let's get out of the Twitter talk. Let's go towards the stocks out there that are moving in the market. Looks like the market is coming back down today a little bit into the futures action and now going into the pre-market. I'll definitely take a quick look at the SPY and then we can go ahead and get into what Ryan's looking at. The SPY is coming down right now towards those kind of pre-market lows, already cut through it. We'll see if it keeps coming down. One way they keep watch today, right, is look at the bonds. What's going on in the bonds? Treasuries are up today, and that's bringing the SPY down. Another thing they'll look for, the dollar catching the bounce. We talked about this yesterday. Would it catch the bounce? Well, there it is. It's been up since about 2:42 in the morning. Since then, we've already gone from around 110.20 to about 11.20 or 111s. So not a bad little move there in the dollar on the upside, but that's going to weigh down on the SPY, and also the pound being down today after the recent speech from Liz, the prime minister. And so just keep watch on that. I think that's what's going to determine today. The dollar can turn around and come right back down. Maybe we'll get that spike up, but if the dollar keeps spiking, I would expect to see the SPY and the stocks down. Going to you, my friend. We'll take a look at what you got for us.
All right, let me go ahead and take a look at some of the stocks that we're looking at. We're still going to watch SNTI from yesterday. What a move this put in yesterday. We have multiple opportunities to trade this to the long side, and it really, really took off in the afternoon. And we've seen that with some of these other names that start off hot that end up having other outsized moves in the afternoon. So although SNTI is down 18% here, almost 19% in the pre-market here, I'm wondering if it can find its footing around one of these support levels from yesterday. I'm thinking first level that I want to watch here is going to be 383, then maybe that 350 handle, and see if we have any type of hold, and then maybe a curl back up to some of these levels. I'm guessing just by how much it's down today in the pre-market that 550 is probably out of the question today, but crazier things have happened before. So just keep it on watch. Definitely wait for this to settle. This should, I don't think buying this right out of the gate is a good idea. Wait for it to settle and watch it. This has been a really awesome trader for us recently. Next here is going to be KITT, and this actually has broken it to its next leg up since I charted it here this morning. This is a robotics company. I can't remember if we had a additional contract award with U.S. Defense Innovation Unit for an autonomous amphibious robot. That sounds crazy. No terms disclosed in the contract, so keep that in mind. Looks like it's definitely moving here on high volume. We were about 320 yesterday. We have a current price of 550. So same deal here. I want to see a support level set up before we try trading this to the long side. And I just want to see where it settles after the market opens. This move feels really, really extended, so I just don't go chasing it. PEGY here. This is a Pineapple Energy. We talked about this on the happy hour yesterday. Pineapple Energy, not Pineapple Express, guys. So relax. Anyway, PEGY here. This had a big day in the afternoon. In fact, one of our traders on the happy hour show last night was trading this. Big day in the afternoon, also in the after hour session, and we're higher again here this morning. So it looks like we're hanging out between 203 and 225 here in this area. Again, I'm going to look for a setup out of this area. Would love for it to hold. Would love for it to maybe pop 225. This is a stock that I can't recall trading in the past, so I definitely want to see how the order flow and how the level 2 shakes up when the market actually opens. PEGY here on watch, though. Next one is going to be VEV. This is a Vicinity Motor. I'm assuming that this is an EV company. Yep. But I've never, this is not one that I've ever heard of. I think with the EV companies, one of the things is that this is obviously a theme, right? There are multiple companies here in the electric vehicle or the infrastructure for electric vehicles that really kind of move. So I'm not sure how great of an actual company this one is, but it's clearly putting in a move here this morning. Same deal here. Want to find where it holds and want to see if it has any more momentum to the upside. Don't want to chase. So watching that as well. Agrify's up 60 cents. It's under $1. I'm going to skip it. Watch it if you want. SHPH, this has been one of the stocks that's really been running. This was a halt fest on one of these days where it just went absolutely crazy. You can see that this stock is no stranger to running here. We're popping here this morning, but we've bled back most of that. This one, again, keep it on the back burner, but probably done here. BNGO is going to be another one here. This is actually carving out a fairly decent range. We're sitting here between 220 and 233. I'd like to see this range get cleared out. I'd really like to see the volume expand. We're up here in the pre-market, but the volume is not huge yet. Let's see what the volume looks like in the regular session compared to yesterday's regular session. That should tell us if this is going to get hot or get any type of momentum here today. That's it. That's all I got for the small caps. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tickers from the chat. Good morning. So many of you out there. Great to see you again. Crassy, Crypto Taurus, Aaron, Richard, Angelina, Hendrick. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully, we are going to have a good day today. I want to know, what is it that you folks are looking at? Crypto Taurus, you're on KITT. That's awesome. Alex, you want to take a look at GDX? All right, let's go ahead and do that here while Mitch is waiting to get back. GDX, this is of course the miners ETF. I really do like trading these ETFs, especially intraday. Great to swing to, never really have liquidity problems. I'm not a gold guy at all. I've watched the gold trade. I've tried to trade gold before, but it's been met with not a whole lot of success. So it's one of those things where if it ain't working, don't keep doing it. So I'm not a gold guy. We actually absolutely have had a pop here recently. As far as the chart goes, I'd actually really like it to take out this area again. I feel like the chart here is in a clear downtrend. Now it looks like we've broken that downtrend, honestly. Pretty nasty one here. Looks like we've broken that. The question really is going to be, where would we go next? So I would say if the strength continues, you're probably looking at about 2750 as your next potential resistance point. You can see here, even in some of the candles now, this recent run looks pretty ferocious. This is a pretty high velocity move here, but for the most part, you can see that these like to kind of go back and forth, at least with this particular ETF. So definitely on a strong run. Break of recent trend. Looking for the next level here at about 2750. That would be all I really have here on GDX. Apron, Mosh Murray, you want to check out Apron. Apron has been great for us. Apron has provided multiple trading opportunities. Recently, it got real slammed. Was this an offering? Someone help me out here. Did they do an offering recently? Let me see. This would have just been a couple of days ago. Don't know. Blue Apron down in pre-market trading. Blue Apron enters into a distribution agreement. No, here we go. Blue Apron shares are trading lower if the company announced an equity distribution agreement allowing the company to sell up to $15 million worth of stock. I'm assuming that that's why the stock is down here, although it has looked like it's found its level. So as far as a trade goes here today, I think we probably trade this against 3, maybe as your stop, as your downside stop. Maybe it does break several cents beneath that, especially on like a momentum pull or something like that. But it looks like it's holding 3 pretty good here. I would watch this for a curl. If I were going to trade this for the long side, I'd watch this for a curl. And my first step would be, can we clear out the area here in the pre-market that goes back to yesterday's intraday session? So the top of that is what, 314? Let's call it 315. Next area up of consolidation here was right in about 330, 320 to 330. I'd actually like to see these areas get work done. I think if you get a curl above 362, this is going to probably try and test this area here. Maybe it tested all the way up to 5. Maybe it kind of stalls out here in the 4.5 handle. But I would look for Apron for a curl. What's great about this is that you don't necessarily have to get in this right away. You don't have to trade this right away. You can wait for this curl to confirm before taking a stab at it. Again, support looks pretty strong here at 3, so that's what I would use as my downside stop. Gary Morris is talking about Charah. So yeah, we did have a contract here for Charah. I think one of the frustrating things for all of us that are watching and holding Charah is that when they release press releases, they often don't have monetary values in them. All right, so they'll give you some of the numbers in terms of how big the ash pond is and how many cubic yards of waste, in this case coal ash, are going to be removed from the pond. That's great, but they don't put the numbers in here, and I think that's just because of the way the power companies want this stuff reported. I've actually reached out to Zoltan, who follows this company quite a bit. Zoltan estimates this at contracts worth anywhere between 35 and 40 million and has margins around 15%. So factor that into your calculus. It's been a really, really poor environment for small cap stocks. This stock is no exception. Plus, they really have, the management team has not executed very well here recently. But we do expect a bounce back here. Maybe today's the start of that. This stock, hard to trade, very, very thin. I would say if you have a tight risk profile, don't even bother here. I'm in this for the long haul. I want to see much, much higher than this, and I'm willing to sit on this for a year or even a couple of years for that to materialize. So understand what my time horizon is on a trade like this. Nonetheless, great to see new contracts in the morning, right, Gary?
Well, it looks like Pentwater Capital is definitely having a good day as they're waking up with their stake. They have a 2.4% stake in Twitter that they were taking on the bet that they would come back to 54.20. Looks like they're going to be close to 5 billion and making at least, looks like 725 million on the Twitter news. So somebody gave that guy a raise.
Not bad.
Whoever was running that hedge fund, somebody's getting a raise. But I can't blame that outlook. And it just seemed like Elon was never really truly going to get out of the deal. You can't say you're going to buy a company for a certain amount, go through it all, and then just be like, oh, no, hold on. I want out.
Mitch, how many times did we discuss here, and did our chat community discuss here, that this was effectively just a negotiation tactic, right? Wanted to see if they could lower the price, probably was not going to back out of it. And as we found from the courts, couldn't back out of it. Deals forced to go through. So to me, it seems like a negotiation tactic. He didn't get a discount. We move on.
The big move, I think, was attacking this long-term support. And so sometimes that's one thing that I'll tell you guys often that I take a look at, right? Longer-term charts and where the support comes into play. If you think about it on the monthly, look at the support that it ran into. It was major support here on the chart. That was probably the best area to kind of come after that Twitter game if you were trying to catch it going back. But let's get out of Twitter. Let's go talk about Tesla. Tesla took a hard hit on that news as yesterday it was looking great. It was getting its move back up. It was in the shadow zone. It got as far as 257.50 and out of nowhere, boom, goes Fraser with the Twitter mention, and it definitely got hit hard. So we're going to see today, does that continue to the downside? Downside action. Look to see what happens today. Do we break through yesterday's low? I got a low of 241.31. So look for around that 241.25 area to break today. If it does break there, it's going to be looking bad and could keep coming down here. Apple, another one that kind of went sideways yesterday. Didn't really make a big move up yesterday. It was kind of already up. So now starting to give up some of the gains from that rally. We'll see what happens today. Does it catch a 50% retracement and then bounce? Or does it start coming right back down towards those October 3rd lows where we got down there towards 137.69? Let's see what happens today in Apple. Oil news, right? Keeping an eye on to see what happens today. What will happen to these oil stocks? Will they continue ripping? OPEC news expected today. I'm keeping an eye out. I haven't seen the actual cut yet on exactly what is being cut here, but I'm going to keep looking. And I know there's also some economic data that's going to be released today, so keep your eyes on that. One thing to keep on watch is at 10:30, the EIA weekly report on petroleum inventories in the U.S. will also be released at 10:30. So today is going to be a very volatile day for oil stocks and oil futures. So just be careful out there. A lot's going to be moving on.
And Mitch, real quick, just to add a visual aid to what you were just talking about, 3 seconds. If you use Benzinga Pro, by the way, link in the description for a free 2-week trial so you can try it out with no money and no credit card. Here's where we can kind of get that. And I think that the easiest way to use the calendar, especially for beginners here, especially if you're going to follow the economics calendar, select the economics calendar in the dropdown and then filter by importance. Here's the EIA crude inventories print that Mitch was talking about. Gives you the time and tells you what other important economic events you're likely to see today. Of course, you can change the date range as well. So good heads up there, Mitch. You should absolutely keep your eye on that today.
All right, I'm looking out there. It looks like someone's saying that they agreed on 2 million That's what Jay Wild is saying. Let me confirm that. I didn't see confirmation of that when I was starting pre-market prep, but I'll go ahead and I'll look at it towards the open here. But MRO definitely getting some lift right now. XOM getting some lift. Oxy getting some lift here. And I was looking at crude oil also, WTI. All right, let's take a look there. We're actually are getting a little bit more of a spike. We saw a spike there at around 7 and then now into 9 a.m. Now really starting to spike a little bit more in crude. We all heard from consumers out there how they were looking at the gas prices show up spiking. So let's see what happens today. Will oil be the best trade? Of course, you guys can look at day trades maybe on GUSH. A move above 161. Right? That will keep the trend going here in GUSH, and take a look at the daily chart as we've been making our way back here in GUSH, pretty significant in the last kind of 4 days. And of course, Oxy, well, one of the ones that everybody's wanting to have a little piece of. Not a bad move. It's continued to move from 57 now back to 66. Will this be kind of the sell the rally today, or will it continue on up and get through up towards the 68? We'll see what happens.
Mitch, 5 seconds till we open here, but real quick, Jay's posting it here. They agreed to a 2 million barrels per day cut. Again, you can find that in Benzinga Pro under USO for the oil fund. Here we go.
Boom, boom.
And one.
Ryan didn't even say 1 second. He got cut before that. Yeah, here I have it now. It looks like 9:07 release. So at least I wasn't crazy on it not being out earlier in the day. But yeah, I got the confirmation here from Reuters. So it looks like OPEC is monitoring an oil cuts of 2 million barrels a day. This is massive. Massive. I think oil has a nice push today. I'm going to be looking at oil stocks here out the gates. A lot of that's going to be GUSH. And how will I play GUSH? Always, I like to play GUSH on a 15 to an hourly outlook. Look at this pullback that it just did. It just tried to pull and cut through 154. So I'm going to look to see if we can make a little pullback. If not, it might just spike here right out the gates, giving us a little bit of spike. You're already seeing it get that spike as we're open here, starting to push towards 160.76. Let's see what happens.
Sorry, Mitch. I have movers coming over today to pick up some stuff, and I'm getting phone calls left and right. Plus, it's my mother's birthday. Anyway.
Hey, well, shout out to the mother of Ryan.
There you go. There you go.
Happy birthday also to Joel out there. It looks like they got something in common they didn't know. And shout outs for everybody that's celebrating the Jewish holiday and probably not here, but hey.
Yom Kippur, right? Ends at sundown tonight or evening?
Yeah. A lot of fasting going on right now. I'm working on my orange stuff.
Do you end it with a huge meal? Like is there a tradition?
I think that's what happens.
Okay.
I'm not really on the camp of that, but from what I heard from Joel, I think that's exactly what happens.
Gotcha.
It's a fast all day and then kind of a celebration, and you repent your sins and things like that. So
gotcha.
Maybe Elon will be fasting. We'll see. SPY getting a little bit of a spike here right out the gates. Apple, let's take a look there. Apple is pushing back after a down gap. So we're getting that little bounce back there. Nvda, take a look at Nvda. Everything
huge bounce in Netflix too, Mitch. Check Netflix next.
Oxy really pushing up there. Really big rip there in Oxy right out the gates. I gotta look at GUSH, see if I can grab it here on a pullback.
You guys are so nice. Happy born. I do enjoy a good chicken wing. That Everglades seasoning, man. You were right about that. Thank you, Becca, Ali Reza, Jesse, and thanks again, Richard Judge, for your birthday wishes yesterday. Netflix really ripping here. That would have been a good call buy out of the gate here. Wasn't on my radar though.
Got to be really careful here with GUSH. One of the things is I like to go in it a little bit slower because it loves to kind of do these kind of big spreads. Okay, just put out in order to try to get filled a little bit here. Got some at 159.89. on that pullback right quick. That was such a quick pullback there, but as soon as they cracked through that 160 and I saw the offer drop, I hit on the ass there. Got in at 159.89 there for GUSH. Looking for this to push through the resistance right now. Let's see if we can get this nice little push here. Risk right now is going to be down towards 159.
I'm watching XOFR. This is actually one that we put on watch yesterday. I didn't trade this yesterday. We did have kind of like a grind up in the afternoon. So a pretty slow trade here, but getting a big pop here out of the gate. So I'm almost wondering if this is going to set up for a move through too. Not in it, haven't bought it, but definitely watching it here. Nice looking chart. If we take a look at the 15-minute here, clearly on a pretty good run here. So a double in the past, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, double here. So X4 seeming to be moving here.
Yesterday, one of the best trades of the day, that AERC. Yesterday, that VWAP bounce that we saw at 440s went all the way to 575. That was a 33% move that we called out on the VWAP. That's looking good here. It's starting to catch a little bit of a bounce there. Looking for GUSH to get through that 160.58 to getting through 161. SPY still pushing up here. And also watch stocks like Oxy that put a big candle in. Looking for pullbacks on that. MRO pushing strong here. XOM pushing strong. So that's why I'm feeling really confident about this GUSH. Look at that push now up to 161.21s as we start getting up more than a point on this. Now we're looking good here. It's starting to make some good cash. Let's see what happens.
BTU, Jay Rice saying BTU, BTFD. I'll let you figure out what that means there. Jay, you've really been on this like crazy. And really the only thing, I think Cole still has a little bit more left to go. BTU been a really, really great trader. I'd be interested in what your targets are, your upside targets, or I would say where you'd be looking to maybe trim some of your position or even sell it completely.
All right, nice push there for GUSH. That is ripping, guys. I'm going to sell half here. All right, just sold half of that GUSH. It's ripping for me, guys. This is one of the best positions of the week. And I wasn't even able to get an ad. It's just ripping on me. It already got through the 162.17. Took some out there at 162. Now I'm looking for it to get through that 162. Of course, original entry was 159.89. So cashing in here on GUSH right out the gates.
Nice job. Nice job right out of the gates. And one of the stocks that we were watching here, PEGY, as I was rolling through other stocks, I took it off my screen. But this breakthrough 225, which is your pre-market high, sent it. We went as high as 243. Looks like we're getting a bit of a pullback now, which is great. I would love for this to set up. In fact, let me go ahead and draw that line in here. This is what we're going to be looking for. 243.
PEGY.
Let's see if PEGY sets up for us here.
It's funny, I put PEG and then there's PEG, but there's PEGY.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, Pineapple Energy. Maybe I
like the name. I like the name, Pineapple Energy. You know, we've been talking about them pineapples lately.
Which I'm allergic to, by the way.
Oh, you're allergic to pineapple?
Vile weed, Mitch. That's what I refer to it as.
Man, that's crazy. It's probably about one of the only fruits that I really like. GUSH, let's get through 162. Let's go. Come on. Keep it going.
So PEGY, we're kind of waiting for this 243. Brought in a little size here at 238, which they just took. Yeah, they took all of it. More size here at 240.
GUSH pulling back here. It looks like it might make a little bit of a VWAP test here. We're seeing it come back really quickly towards a VWAP here.
I'm going to try some PEGY here. Looking for a break above 243. Stop. Make it 233. Let me actually enter my stop in case it moves.
Put a line there for you so that everybody knows. All right, XOM, I'm watching some oil trade. Look how GUSH quickly gets right back in, and I'm technically a little bit down here right now. So just going to keep watch here. Don't want to see it break 159, but definitely GUSH doing a little bit of a hard pullback there. Happy I at least took first target, right? And so at least we're still in the green right now, but definitely don't want this to become a loser.
PEGY really trying here at that 243. They've hit that spot a number of times. Looks like they're just adding more stock to sell there. But if we take it, I think we pop. Here we go. There's 243. A little bit more size here at 245 on PEGY. Here's 245. Let's see if we take this down. Oh, they pulled it. Am I going to get flushed? Held in there. So far, decent stop.
Watching GUSH, it's pulling back fast on me.
Jay Rice, BTFD means buy the freaking dip. Touche, my man. That's what I should have known that, frankly. Good stuff.
All right. It's getting questionable here for the GUSH trade. It's right off the 159. I could add here, but it just seems like I want to see it get back above VWAP before I add. Adding down here could still leave me room for it to drop really quickly to the 1 hour support. I don't want to see that happen here. So I'm just trying to hang on towards the 159 here. The spread is going all around it. So let's see if it can close above that 159. That'll be a good outlook and for it to scoop back up. But XOM is starting to pull back also. Oxy is starting to pull back also. So you could look maybe for VWAP plays there.
Stopped out of PEGY. So 0 for 1 on the day, but I still think that this might set up. Keep this on the back burner. Probably a little too early for me to go after that trade right at the range break, but kept the losses small, so we'll be all right. Would really like to see this test the 240 area and then take out that high. So we'll wait and see if this sets up again.
All right, that's a nice little bounce there. Oxy didn't come back to the VWAP. I like that outlook now. I just need to see XOM kind of break through that high, Oxy break through the high. That's going to be a good look for GUSH to come back up. Don't want to increase the risk right here. Just going to keep it where it is and look to see if we can get that next little push.
KITT, I believe, is halted. KITT, that was on our list here from this morning, halted at the highs. So it looks like a push through 6 here might happen out of the halt. Not in this, not trading this. It was definitely on the list. Looks like we pulled back to VWAP, pulled a little bit beneath VWAP, but then crossed it here to the highs. And now we're halted here at 589.
Futures bouncing around. They're here out there. Let's take a look at that. I want to take a look at the dollar to see how that's doing today, but so much going on. I need to get kind of this dollar index on one of these charting services. I can't get it. For some reason, no one wants to have that index a part of their chart. It's frustrating with some of those currencies. I'll be honest. One of the things that I've just done, Mitch, I keep this tab open in my browser. Yeah, that's what I do. But
that's what I do.
I don't like going to that site. That's a forbidden site for me.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, then I'll go back to a non-forbidden site for you.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Happens to me all the time, though. I end up on that also. So
was just trying to help. I swear.
At least you know that Ryan was honest to you. Look at that wick. You got wicked out, man. Those damn tricks. Look at that. PEGY coming right back.
That's stop hunting. But you know what? If I don't obey those stop rules, inevitably, I'm going to end up taking a huge loss. So I'm okay with it. If the loss is small, I believe I can easily work that back.
I agree. I mean, that's what you're trying to do. That's the strategy there. But definitely those wicks, tricks.
Wicks are tricks, man.
And now you're going to get that third high, right? So the rule of 3 starts playing into it. I could see kind of it just maybe dropping back below this kind of body and probably seeing a little bit of a pullback. See if it holds the 233s on any pullback from here. And then we'll look for the 250 breakout.
Man, PEGY, that is sigh. But here, maybe it'll set up again. Maybe it'll set up again. You know, one of the things to try. Yeah, see, Dan, maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to adjust my stop, especially for early in the market. This is a really good piece of advice here. If I'm buying in the first 15 minutes, I like to use the stop at low a day. Now, low a day on this one would have been 210. Not sure I would have held it for that long, but you know what? Maybe if I'm unsure, I should scale in, right? And then add when it comes to that support level instead of stopping out only to watch it go higher. That's actually that might be something we have to do here. Something to alter the process here. Good stuff, Dan.
Yeah, I like hourly lows, but you got to also understand, like you said, what's the risk and how do you adjust your share size to get that, right? If I was risking off a 210 there, I'd be risking about 40 cents. Definitely wouldn't be taking huge sizing into that. So it's all about relative to your sizing also. And it's how do you want to approach these smaller names? Some people like to scalp them. Some people like to play the range.
PEGY through 250 here. Trying didn't, it was rejected at 250. Sorry about that. They took a bunch of stock there at 250, but it was rejected. They're pulling it here.
Yeah, a little trick on that. Tried to get to the fourth resistance there, and of course a flip down. Now it needs to hold that 9 EMA. I wouldn't want to see it break and close below 238s, and I'd be looking for a 250 break. GUSH is just holding on, so that's why I'm just kind of staying quiet, just watching XOM. XOM not turning around. That's a good level for me to then just look for GUSH to take that next step up.
I think Buddy wants to say hi to the group. Say hi to the group, Buddy. They want to see your pretty face without your eye booger. Where are you going? My mic might get unplugged here. Nope.
He was going for it. There's the pushback in GUSH. Now we're getting back into the green there in GUSH. Held towards that 159. Now let's see if we can get through that 162 on the upside. XOM pushing. That's a good sign there for us. Let's see if we can get that gushing. Oxy topping out there at 167.50. Let's see if we get that push through that 167.50.
KITT has opened. It went right through 6. Currently at 614, 610. So we opened higher here. I'm not in this. This one's really wild. It's moving all over the place really, really fast. I definitely want to watch this action. Looks like we're about to break down now. I'm definitely going to watch this action here, but not in this. This one a little too quick for me here this morning. Wow, sold a lot of stock there at 613 on KITT and then moved higher.
All right, not liking this action here on the pullback here from GUSH and Oxy pulling back here. Need to see XOM hold that 98, but it's looking like it's trying to pull back here. Don't want to see it break through that 59 there. So looking to probably just get out of GUSH and then I can get re-entry here because I feel like we're going to get a hard pullback. See if I can get out at a good level here.
All right, so KITT coming back down to that halt spot at 589 and broke way below. Look at the pull. Look at the here. So this is exact. So, and I think we're halted to the downside. We're going to halt here if it holds. Halted. All right. So here's the, when this is one of the reasons why halt stocks, I'm adverse to them. I don't like playing them. We had a really nice pop out of that first halt. And there were a couple of different times where it looked like, based on the level 2 and the way the stock was trading, that it wanted to break higher.
Oh,
what happened?
No, breakout there.
On
oil
GUSH?
Continuing. No, okay. Continue though.
Let me just finish this up real quick. So one of the reasons why I didn't want to play that extension, it was moving around real quick. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to execute stops at the price that I hoped. On PEGY, it was easy. It wasn't nearly as volatile. I easily got out of my stop, no worries. But on this stock, it was going to be a little bit different. Look at the pull that we just had. Imagine if you had bought a couple thousand shares at 614 and now you're staring at 553. So this is exactly the type of stuff that worries me about halt stocks. I wouldn't be shocked if we came into the VWAP here, got VWAP at 540. So we'll have to wait and see. When
945 release of U.S. Service Purchasing Manager is causing a spike here. I think that's the only thing I could see causing a spike on the SPY like that. Got to look it up to see what we got in here. Estimates was 49.2. So
we
just
beat it
keep
by
your
a
eyes on
10th.
that.
We beat the estimate by 1/10.
1/10, it's 49.3.
It's 49.3 versus a 49.2 estimate right here again in my filtered news feed
Perfect.
for important numbers.
Well, it's nothing, crazy off of the numbers. And so a lot of times if I don't see anything too unexpected, shouldn't expect that crazy of a move, but the SPY spiked there. So let's see if it can hold now VWAP. That's what I'd be looking at. That's around 374s. So you wouldn't want to see 374s break. Right now it's a little bit higher than that, but I wouldn't want to see 374s break now if you're looking for the bullish move in the SPY. Need to take a look at the sectors, but I'm just keep watching GUSH. I'm looking for that
Tops.
break. Tops?
Tops. TOPS, Top Ship. This is one of those Greek shippers.
The shippers.
I know. I had the same reaction, Mitch. I had the same reaction you did. Oh.
This was the stock that if I ever looked like a guru, this was one of those stocks that made me look like a guru. When these stocks ripped, remember back in the day, I think it was in 2018, I was in my derivatives class and telling people, like, watch these stocks tomorrow. They're going to go move more than 1,000%. I said some crazy shit like that in the middle of class. And the next day, 3 or 4 of them moved 1,000%. And you see my professor being like, yo, how the hell did you know this? He literally pulled me back, pulled me to the class. He pulled me up and he's like, yo, how did you know this?
Tell us how you knew that. like Reddit, bro. Reddit.
He was like, yo, do you have something I don't or something? Like, I was like, it's the Dry Baltic Index. I said that it was some index that I had looked up and I had found. And I mean, the index did point towards the upside, but he was like, yo, that's the biggest bullshit index I've ever heard.
Hey, man, sometimes in this business, if you're lucky, that can be just as good as being really knowledgeable. Hey, it all depends on where you click the buttons at. And I mean, I'm sorry, if I buy something and it runs 1,000%, you can bet I'm going to close that trade and you can bet I'm going to feel pretty good about it, whether it was lucky or otherwise. So I don't know what to tell you. Tops halted here, by the way. This was actually halted right at the after hours highs from yesterday. So it'd be interesting to see what happens when we open. My guess would be when we open, we pop higher, but I wouldn't be shocked to see this come back in. We've seen these Greek shippers go crazy. Tops was 2,400. Tops was 2,400 3 years ago, thanks to those reverse splits. Again, this is not a company to buy and hold. I learned about these Greek shippers here from FinTwit. They're trading vehicles. Ship, Tops. There's another one that I'm struggling to remember.
All right. I set a stop. I set a stop limit here at 159.69. So it could trigger in the next couple of minutes here. If it does trigger for me, there it should start out with on the rest of it, a really small loss there. Remember 159.89 entry, exit there at 159.57. The profits were at 162. So I'll take that all day. Still in the green on the day. Good first trade on GUSH. Didn't want to stick around. I always have this inner ticking time bomb where if the trade doesn't want to go, it means that I got to go. And so I'm out of there on GUSH. It could still rip, could still push, but it was just a little bit worrisome for me because the spread, and GUSH is a very hard spread to deal with because sometimes it spreads as wide as almost a whole point. So you got to be able to deal with that. Oxy, the actual stocks probably would have been a better way to go approaching this, because these have a little bit less volatility in their spread. Like Oxy spreads 3 cents right now compared to 40 cents in GUSH.
So this is JD Chance here. The more you know, I think that's what he meant. The more you know how skills and knowledge, usually the more good luck that can happen. The harder you work, the luckier you will get. There is no doubt that is a relation. Easy Mike, let's catch a trade. We're looking for one. Mitch just caught GUSH.
Yeah.
I'm over one here.
And I might have got stopped out there early too. Stop hunters, right? I mean, the stop hunters are on today. I'll tell you that much. So just be careful out there with the stops, guys. I'm seeing them definitely hunt that. Like I got triggered there by maybe 10 cents there. So just be careful out there. I'm seeing it often today. Let's go towards what the sectors are up, right? So energy's leading, financial services behind that. Then we got industrials. What's in the red? Utilities getting back into the red. So not where you want to be in the XLU game right now. That's definitely getting crushed. Real estate getting crushed. Why is that? Because the morning housing numbers. I saw what?
I didn't catch those.
Yes. So morning housing numbers, you got Morgan applications to purchase homes falling 13% for the week and a steep 37% lower year over year. And then
Okay.
also the average contract increased to 6.75% interest rate from 6.52. And so
Okay.
as those interest rates going higher, well, to keep knocking down the real estate right now until the Fed pivots, I think you're going to see continued REITs just get destroyed here. ITB is the way that I've been looking at this, and you can take a look at it. This is, I feel like, a pop that you could even be shorting into in the home construction stocks. Like Lennar is one that I would also point out.
And Zillow is reporting its earnings on November 2nd. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch with all of the movement that's going around in housing. I believe Open Door is unconfirmed for November 9th. So it's going to be right around the same time as Zillow. Looks like it's going to report after Zillow.
All right, oil continuing to move. Looks like I might have sold a little early, and that happens sometimes, team. One thing is you got to have your own limits, and for me, sometimes it's a ticking time bomb. I got out of the trade, not going to feel bad about it, even if it goes into the green there. But oil is still hanging on here. Oxy with a VWAP bounce. XOM never even came back to VWAP. It's just continuing to stair step up. We'll see what else is moving out there. I know that there's going to be a lot of these oil names kind of moving today. So if you guys have one that you like better than others, throw it up. Slumberjay.
Real Slumberger, I thought. Real quick, Easy Mike saying ENPH potential move here for a trade. This is a straight move down here, right? So right out of the open here, we tried to bounce up to 284. We're currently at 267. Looks like we're finding some footing in here. I'd like to know tops unhalted, tops open again. Okay. I'd like to know what your trade plan is or how you're actually trading this here. And are you using options? Because these options, not very liquid, not a whole bunch of volume in there. And boy, they're expensive for the near month. This week's are definitely more liquid and more reasonably priced. But just interested to see how you're actually trading that. Let's go check on tops now that it's unhalted. See what we did here.
All right. I'm thinking about taking some of these. All right,
so
just be careful. Super high risk trades here, guys, on these shippers. I'm going to go through a list of them. Tops is the leading leader right now. You got OP, a 38-cent stock right off the VWAP. GLBS, another known one to move with tops.
That's it, GLBS. That was the one I couldn't remember.
EC, one that I called out back in the day that did one of those big moves. You got I'm looking at GLBS right now. That's the one that I was looking at, maybe taking the shot off of the 140 here, going back towards the 150. Risk would be the 132s. It'd be about what we're risking about here, 8 cents. But the first profit would be a breakout through the 150s, going back through 152. You do got some pre-market action to go off of, so this is not a bad level. You know what? I don't do this often on these type of stocks, but I'll take a little shot here. See if I can get in. All right, there, I got the 140 there. I'm going to take my little shot here in GLBS. Of course, this is kind of momentum playing. Not really my bread and butter. I'll just say it right off the bat, but I'm willing to take a shot here off the pattern. VWAP entry, risk going to be down towards 132. We'll see what happens here. Big thing is going to be watching tops. You need to see tops continuing that move, because if tops doesn't break through the high, more than likely you're not going to get a follow through sympathy type of move. So this is a leader laggard style trade. Let's see what happens.
And I'd like to just reiterate what Edson is saying here. Just be careful. Be careful with these stocks. Mitch said the same thing. High risk trade. We're trying to tell you from the beginning, these could go poorly. So just be careful if you're going to trade them.
Yeah, and then also you guys see how I'm keeping my risks really tight, right? Could I keep that same type of risk in tops right now? No. So that's why I went for GLBS, where I can limit the downside. If I do lose on this, what am I going to lose? 6 cents, 8 cents. I'm not going to be mad about that. Now on tops, if you got in there around 750 and you drop to 7, that's easily how you can blow an account. So just be careful out there, team. We'll see what happens. VWAP needs to hold.
ISM in 3 minutes. Mike, great shouts here today. Great shouts here today.
Lot going on out there, and I think oil does get higher for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I think a lot of people were looking at like kind of what would happen in wintertime, right? I mean, maybe that whole kind of trade is finally starting to play into fruition as we're actually getting closer towards winter, right? October, the temperatures are starting to go down. I even had 40 degrees here as a low on the day in Charlotte. So I can just imagine in the West how it's starting to go, and maybe even where you're at, Ryan. What's your low looking like? You guys are getting into the 40s?
It's 54 right now. Let me get you a forecast here. So today, the low here is 54, high is 78. It's going to be warmer today. But on Friday, we're going to have a high of 54 and a low of 38.
That tells me it all, right? The cold is coming, guys. Winter is coming. Winter. Tops finding a little bit of a bounce right around that $7. So if I were going to take a risk on tops, it would be 7 to 690s or 680s. But like always, very hard to manage there. And even the spread is starting to spread out about 10 cents. How's the SPY? I haven't even been able to take a look at the overall market today because there's just been so much action. Look how it's hanging out here right up the VWAP. It's going to be an important point right now. Look at the 3-minute chart. Sideways trend right here. Trying to hold here. Upwards trend on the bottom of it. Trying to hold any down move towards 370, 375. Let's see what happens today. Does it break to the upside towards 375 or the downside towards 370, 350s? We'll see what happens. All right, taking a look out there. Nothing moving yet. Tops moving that step back towards 750. I want to just see it break out through 8s. That's probably the only thing that's going to get mine to really start moving. And it's going to be because people do the same thing that I did. Look at what's in the industry and then looking to buy sympathy. Let's see what happens. Tops needs to go towards that second halt. It's only halted once today. Let's see if we go towards that second halt. SPY fighting down, wants to break. Let's see what happens.
ISM non-manufacturing PMI reading 56.7 versus a 56 estimate. So I would imagine that the market trades down on that. Looks like that's exactly what's happening here. Banning
exactly what happened there.
Dang it, you were all over banning that point bot. Let's go.
Hey, there's the breakdown there, and just be careful out there now. Just going to keep watching. Now don't want to risk too much on this tops. Tops needs to just go. If it comes back to 7 here, I'll just even get out of it. Because when you see the overall market and you see how everything's been trading, it's hard to find things that are not correlated with that type of move. You can watch for maybe Apple to wipe out here. Apple, look at that wipe out on Apple. Boom, right back down. Tesla, remember we talked about that. Would it continue down? It just broke through the yesterday's low, that 241.25, holding that as resistance now, looking to make another leg down. SPY needs to recover 371, 373.50s. We'll see if that happens. Let's go back to tops. Keep an eye out on tops, trying to see if it's going to make that push. Contrarian move here. It's a smaller name, so sometimes it doesn't have that high correlation with the market. So that's why I'm staying in it right now. Let's see what happens. But the SPY, definitely a takedown.
Peggy new highs. Peggy new highs. This is why we wanted to keep it on our back burner here. Peggy new highs. I was too slow to it though. Shit.
Ooh, SPY is hard down move there. Hard down move on the SPY.
Well, that's what we said. The market probably wouldn't like that print.
Yeah, I'm not liking this trade anymore. Ticking time bomb, right? And so I'm getting to that point where I'm about to cut it. It's all going to be dependent on the next little candle here on tops. Stays in the green, I'll stay in the green. If not, I'm just going to cut it. SPY's dropping fast there. There's a lot of plays that I can play with that SPY dropping fast. So this is what you call opportunity cost, right? Sometimes you'll have these moments in your trading. Is this really worth it to me? It's not worth it to me anymore. I'm out.
Yeah, that SPY candle is pretty crazy.
Still haven't gotten filled there. Trying to get out. This is just illiquid.
I'm going to check out Twitter.
All right. I'm out of there. Took a very, very, very tiny loss from 140 to 136 there. Tops is still holding on. but it needed to kind of make that move. And with the SPY coming down, the opportunity cost is too high for me to look for other trade. Like look at this SOX trade, and then look at that quick pullback that I had an opportunity to buy. 157.10 pulled back to 156.70s and then ripped off to 157.80s. That would have been a really nice risk to reward. 30 cents, you get a $1 move. What is that? That's a 3-to-1, 4-to-1 trade. The trades that I love doing. So I'm going to be looking for another trade here, see if I can get some pullbacks to get into it. We'll see what happens. Forget that GLBS. Tops. Should know better.
Hey, when you said you were taking it, I was like, oh, Mitch? Really? But hey.
Not my style, right? Not my style.
Nope.
But I've tried to stay away from these, but maybe it was the story. The story might have gotten me a little fluff in my mind, right? It happens, team. We can't deny that we get affected by emotions. Emotions happen. The thing is to get back into control.
Ongoing battle to control those emotions every single day.
Yep.
It will never end.
And the key there, I think, is always understanding when you're getting off tilt and just going back towards what you know. I feel like right there was a moment that I had the decision to make. And I said, let's go back to what works versus trying something that we haven't found actually continued to work.
INDO. So look what happened with some of those cheap oils. INDO, HUSA, IMPP, all of these really kind of spiked right at the beginning. They just bled everything back.
Look at the Oxy move down. Oh, that is hard to deal with, team.
Right through the VWAP too.
What is going on? We're getting destroyed off of that.
Same deal.
Did we get the release also of the? That's at 10:30. The weekly report of petroleum inventories. ISM was at 10, but man, that is destroying us that bad. What was the ISM reading?
ISM non-manufacturing PMI 56.7 versus 56 estimate. Services PMI 49.3 versus 49.2 estimate.
Prior reading was 56.9. These economic data and the moves not relatable. Unless there's something that I don't see. I mean, at least from what I can tell on the numbers, it's not a bad thing. It went down 0.2. It was expected to decline to 56. So it's not like it's declined as fast as expected. I don't know. It's a harder one, but man, that's a hard down move for that type of action there.
Just watching.
This is why you obey stops or your levels, because things like this can always happen. This Oxy, and I'll tell you right now, there's no one hitting the offers right now. This is bid all the way to 66, where you will run into probably a big sizing on the level 2.
Yeah, CRKN, definitely a penny stock here, 32 cents, but big move here, move from 20 cents. So this thing's up 66% here today. I'm going to pass on this, but this one's definitely moving around if you like trading those pennies. Good shout there, Becca. Good shout.
All right, tough day for sure. Everything's starting to leak right back into the red. And let's do a little bit of an assessment here. How's the dollar doing? Dollar is going to tell us a lot, right? Dollar is doing what? Spiking, continuing to spike. So a good sign that we could keep coming down today. Then we take a look at some bonds action. Let's take a look at the bonds. How are the bonds doing? All right, taking a look here. Bonds are actually up. And so that shows us what? Down action continuing. The 10-year up to 3.76 now. Watch out. It could be in a down tape today.
Pops another pullback here.
Short a name like Apple, if it could come back to VWAP. Soft maybe. Yeah.
PEGY maybe curling and setting up here. I'm still expecting a pullback, but I haven't seen it yet. But it sure looks like it's curling.
Looking for some shorts out there, man. What has made a run in the last 2 days that should get shorted right back down? I don't know how I'm such a bear against Starbucks. Zoltan and I were having interesting conversations on Starbucks.
Are you bear? He's bull?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
He was in New York and he's like, do you see that line? You see that line in Starbucks? And I was like, yeah, but guess what? They ain't making money because they pay $60,000 for that location a month.
PEGY going for new highs here. PEGY going for new highs here. 274 is your current high. There it is. New highs pop right through and a yank right back.
Wait for the 10:30 report. Yeah, I'm waiting for the 10:30 report. Top's going to 9. Well, it happens, Brendan. It happens. I might have closed it a little early. You know, I'm not gonna be mad about it. There's one thing that you can't do is cry about spilt milk, guys. Ooh, it didn't go to 9 there. It went to 850s.
Man, CRKN, Becca, that penny stock that you just mentioned, up more now. We're up nearly 100% here, 37 cents in CRKN. I didn't trade this. It's
a hard one there.
Not my cup of tea, but man, is that moving.
Hard pattern there. Let me see a little bit longer term. Yeah, nothing to go off of. Nothing to go off of.
Yeah, though I don't like trading those. I really don't.
Especially when they're like this on the longer term chart. I'll show you right now. Look at this longer term chart. Not the type of stock that I want to be trading. Yeah. But like always, you're going to get those momentum rips back. When a stock is this beaten down, sometimes it's going to have these momentum rips back. That's why when a stock is like beat down to this level, it's almost, I think, unwise to be shorting stocks here. But to each his own, right? Whatever you like. But my guys, I don't like to short stocks that are underneath even like $5. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Coal down on the day as you're starting to see kind of a flip. BTU, the only one into the green that I have right now. It is trying to catch a little bit of a bounce. Did pull back towards the 2620s, then pushed up to 2740s. We'll see what happens out there.
BTU stopped at its VWAP on this curl back.
Yeah, the hard part there is if all the rest of them are in the red, why is BTU in the green? It's the hard part there. We got to see it catch up. So I like looking at maybe more of a laggard style play on this day. I'd look at the METC for a push towards 10, or maybe CEIX coming back for a 71. But that doesn't mean that BTU can't keep going, right? It would keep going to be the leader. NC, not my style stock there. This METC doesn't look too bad. Kind of got a bottoming forming, but it's forming underneath the VWAP. So that's why it's a little bit worrisome, but you'd have to risk off of like 970s here. Looking for a push back towards 992. I'd have to look for a move towards 10 here. So it'd be a getting in towards 81s or 80, then pushing towards 10 and risking towards the 980. So 10-cent risk for at least a 20-cent reward. I would look to sell some at 10 and then look for the rip out above 10 there, but not going to take it right now. It's just going to wait till that 1030 number hits here to take a couple of trades once that happens. SPY keeps coming down. The only thing I would do maybe here is short some VWAPs. That VWAP right there on Apple didn't get really close to it, but it got similar. Got a high here of 144.55, VWAP at 144.57. Tesla starting to bounce a little bit. 4 down today. BM, Lucid, probably down. Yep. When Lucid gets a 10, that's when my short call will be completed. We'll see when it gets there. It's continued from the 19s. Around at what's moving today, ARKK, everything in the red. What's getting hit the hardest? Probably her Tesla position. She added to the position yesterday. Like, who does technical analysis for Kathy? Kathy, you can hire me. You can call me.
Mitch putting the call out right now.
Because I would have told you clearly yesterday if you told me, hey, I want to add to our position. Do you think this is a good technical level to add on Tesla? I would have been like, no, don't do it. Don't do it, Kathy. Don't do it. Your chance was actually earlier on in the 270s. Even though it came down below this, that's where I would have told her to get a little bit of an add there, right? Or looking at the monthly chart. Why not just use that and use monthly lows and then add when you get to the monthly low versus adding in the middle of this move where it just doesn't make sense? I don't know. Kathy, call me. You might need some help.
VIX creeping up here. We're approaching 30 on the VIX. If you're a VIX watcher.
VIX. You're a VIX watcher. I don't even have the VIX. I only have VXY.
I have VIX in one of my charts that I keep on my screen at all times.
Yeah, I only use the VIXY. I don't know how much edge really the VIX gives, but a lot of traders use it. I don't use it that much. I'll just be honest.
Yeah, it helps me know what's going on. I feel like I get a more clear picture about what's going on in that day when I can make sense of the VIX reading.
Ooh, these solar names are hard to kind of call right now. FSLR is breaking, thinking they could be a potential short here if they could bounce. It's just a hard day right now, man. Nothing really bouncing, and everything's hanging out at the low of the range. This is what I see on these down days. Look at the defensives. They're getting flushed right now. Brewers getting flushed. Pharmaceuticals getting flushed. RAD down 5%. Definitely getting hit hard there. Beverages even getting hit. Beyond Meat down to $15. Fake meat trying to hang on. Becca's going to hit me. Becca hit me. You know I'm a fake meat hater. Kathy won't take you, Mitch. You are like Gordon Johnson, a clown bear. Hey.
That's not very nice.
Hey, some people get jealous, you know. They're probably bullish. It's okay. OP, you can be bullish in a bear market. I'll try to stay bearish in a bear market. I remember the first kind of rally in the market where everyone was like, "Oh, we're going back. That was this 460 push, and I was like, "This looks exactly like 2008, guys. This looks like we're gonna have a huge rally and then even further downside action." So at least I don't think I was too wrong about that one. 16% down on that next move versus your 10% move up. So it's hard. It's hard there.
Looks like you got let off the hook. Becca didn't hit you.
She didn't hit me.
So it looks like you're safe today, Mitch. But you might be playing with some fire here.
Yeah, I get the bulls upset, Chris. It happens. Especially when they're too biased and they can't admit it. At least I can admit that I'm a bear, you know?
I admit all the time that I have a bullish upside.
You gotta just be like, when you feel like you have a bias, just admit to it. It's gonna help. It's gonna help. Like, just not being like, oh, I'm not. Like, you gotta know what you are. Right here, I'm bearish still. Too many headwinds. Jacob, you have a Webull account issue there. We can try to help as much as possible. I haven't used Webull too often, but I've used it before. So maybe I'll take it. I'll take the chance on this question. Of course, what I would say is reach out to Webull support because they're probably going to be able to help you more than I can. But let me take a look. What is the question here? I see red and green and white orders go through on the tape. What are the white orders? Assuming red is selling, green are buy orders. Well, remember, what you're seeing is probably bid, ask, above ask, and below bid. Those are the colors that you're probably seeing a little bit different. What each means on Webull, I'm not sure. Could be above ask, could be below bid. And so that's probably the different numbers that you're seeing there. Just take a look, go into their support. I'm sure they got that explanation for you.
What is this? Okay, that was really okay. So this SHFS that was halted earlier today just made a big move through its VWAP. I thought this was a shipper, but it looks like this is a financial services provider to cannabis-related businesses. Offers banking solutions.
FH what? IS?
SHFS. Sandy Hotel Foxtrot Sandy.
Credit Systems is what I have. Nice looking chart.
PEGY put in new highs.
Look. 1, 2, 3. What happens after 3? 4. 4. We'll see what happens. Not a bad looking stock there. Rule of 3 playing in on that SHIFS. Nice little pullback hold towards the 7. That is volatile, though. That's a volatile stock right there. 5-minute, 20% moves. Woof. Get your heart moving real fast.
Sydney, I'm wondering too about ENPH. Ever since Mike shouted it, we've had a couple of people trade ENPH in this chat here pretty successfully. It looks like it's trying to bounce, but to be honest with you, to my eye, it looks like it wants to retest that low of 262.06. Let's just call it 262. So I'd be interested to know what spot you're thinking that this is going to bounce at. This currently, we're in the gap from July 28th. That gap fills at 257. So just to my eye here, it looks like we have a little bit more downside for a support area.
Yeah, on ENPH, I think you're trying to gap fill. And so you see on the daily, look to your left. I've been drawing this box for a long time here.
That's it. Yep.
I created this on September 19th, actually August 19th, and I updated it on September 29th. But we were going to look to see if we were ever going to get back in there. Looks like it's heading towards it right now. So I'm actually looking at maybe an FSLR short today. VWAP rejection trade would be the trade. So it moved back towards 138.27. That's where the VWAP is right now. I'm already drawing where my risk would be, which was 139.10. And now I'd be patient. If I get in here and the stock goes to 138.27, I'm going to feel real dumb. So let's just wait. At least what I like to do is wait for it to do the VWAP rejection move. And so we're going to look for a move back towards that 138.27. I'll get a small entry there. Look to add in between the 139.10s and 138.27, and then hold towards that 139.10 risk.
PEGY, more highs here. Looks like it went above 3, yanked a little bit here. Lesson here on PEGY, I think Jay Rice earlier, I think said it earlier, my stops were definitely too tight. We had this flagged as a stock that we were going to watching. The stock did what we hoped. I ended up stopping out on that first trade on the first pullback here because my stop was too tight. And then the trade plan ended up working here. So lesson here is that, maybe still in this environment, lowering of size so that you can extend those stops might have been more of a prudent trade plan here. So that's the lesson here. Although PEGY, really, this has been one of the best trade setups of the day, really, for us. It would have been too hard to trade KITT despite the crazy movement. Look, this thing's breaking down too. Always looking to learn from mistakes. Always, always, always.
So 1023, we're going to get at 10:30, the EIA administration weekly report on petroleum inventories. Well, that will affect a lot of the oil names, right? We'll see if they get a bounce back at that 10:30 number. What do you expect, Easy, since you've been all on top of this? What are you thinking here? And if you don't want to give a prediction, you could just say, yeah, it's not for me to predict here, but let's look at the number. And do you think it will have a big effect here going into 10:30? We're going to keep watch. FSLR not trying to come back towards that 138.27, just holding at the low of the day. It looks like it's going to go ahead and just kind of fade off. Not getting any of these to really get back to the VWAP. And so that's going to be tough to kind of short.
And ENPH here broke beneath that day low here. So it looks like that chart that you just had with that box looks like we're going to that area. I would expect that gap to fill to the bottom of that box.
Yeah, it looks like it's pullback day for sure. Let's go back towards BTU, some coal names out there. What's going on with that one? I was going to take a look at, remember, METC for a 10 move. It went up towards the 990s, coming back for the VWAP, trying to hold here. We'll see if it's able to hold the trend line. This is called a throwback look. When you get above the trend line and you throw right back to the trend line, that's when it should hold. What you actually hear as pullbacks are actually breakdowns on the bottom of the chart, not the top of the chart. This is a term that I learned from the CMT studies, where a lot of people call this a pullback. It's actually called a throwback in the books. Steel down big today also. Couldn't hang on there. Cleveland Cliff was having a good move. NUE was having a good move, and they're just getting faded right now. Apple, man, that thing missed that VWAP there. I was thinking about that VWAP short for Apple. It missed it by 2 cents, and that's probably one that I should have been able to get short into and would have been nailing this down move about 0.8% there on Apple. Still green on the day for our GUSH trade, but GUSH not looking bueno. We'll see what happens here at 10:30.
Sorry, Mitch, handling some BZ stuff behind the scenes.
I know how that goes, my friend.
I know that you do. That's why I told you.
You know how it goes, man. And if you need to take a second, by all means, go ahead and keep doing. I'm going to take a look at the dollar. What's going on there? Continuing the strength up towards 111.57, up about $1.57 on the day. Keeping an eye on to see if that's going to turn around. If that doesn't turn around, I see leaking all day long.
But he's trying to break into my box of golf balls. Nope, he's trying to go into the closet. Boy, he is going to cause trouble here.
All right, looking out what's going on out there. How's uranium doing? Yep. Pulling back also. What is up on the day, guys? Can you guys give me anything? Come on. Where's the bulls out there? Where do I look? So I
PEGY,
can't catch
bro.
anything on the
PEGY,
downside.
we gave you one before the market opened. PEGY.
PEGY, bro. Come on. You got to peg it. PEGY. Remember what I said here, right? When we were at that 233s? Let's take a little move back. What did we get? Let's go towards the one. The one's going to show it. When we were right about here, when we got that first kind of turnaround, it was right here, that 233. We got the spike there. It went towards that 251. You need to look for that third support hold. A lot of the times, this is what we're going to get. You see how you get these wicks around the 233 support? Right after that, you get this reversal sign back up. That's when I like to join the party. Like to say this 239, looking for the breakout through the 250. That would have been the move right there. That was the one that maybe go after, and then you get that rise towards the 270. And from that moment, you never break the 233 again. If it breaks the 233, in my eyes, the pattern's broken. And so the pattern held there on that third pullback. And if you guys want, I can take a second here. And since we're not taking too many trades today, I'm going to do what's called our strategy. I'll take a strategy breakdown here, outlook of the rule of three. And so a lot of times, what are we looking for, team? We want to be looking for resistance tries, right? So we get a first push, then we get a pull back. Always looking to establish support and resistance. That's the first thing that I look for. Not looking at if I want to get into the trade. Where is the support? Where is the resistance? If you go ahead and you work that in, you're going to be able to go ahead and try to find these moments, right? So rule of three is always about building up some resistance, building up some support, then looking for that third support to be that final hold, and then it goes. That's what we get here. You get a push up, a pull back down, a push up, a pull back down, that next push. And on this drive, instead of looking for the breakout, I always look for the pullback on that third drive. I'm like, okay, so the support clearly drawn around the 233s. That's where I can attack and maybe hold down towards the next level. Maybe I'm getting in at the 235 and holding off of this low that I see on the chart, which is 229. So maybe it's 227 the risk. Boom. Now I have an 8-cent risk looking for that push through the 250. Not a bad outlook. 15 cents up, at least a 2-to-1 to start. You're going to go ahead and maybe sell some into the 250, then look for that extension above. Once you get towards the 265 and 270s, now we're talking about what? A 30-cent gain for an 8-cent risk. I'll take that any day. Not a bad trade there on PEGY. Buddy is straight up getting in my space here.
By the way, while I came back from the washroom to realize that Finger, which has given us great trades the past few days, sold off. Check this out. Sold off to right around yesterday's lows and bounced. We actually crossed through the VWAP. That gave us a good trade, but it wasn't on my radar at the time. It is now. One of the things I'd be looking for are the after hours highs from yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and mark them here. This one, and I'll even mark this one here too. So 733, 759. I would imagine we're going to test 7 here on Finger. Now, Finger has this is a crazy one. This is really moved. It's extremely extended. If we take a look at the 15-minute, you can see this stock was 50 cents not long ago, and here we are within a week talking about it at $6-7. So just careful with this one, but it looks like we're starting to get some action here.
All right, we're about to get that to hit the tape there. So whenever you see it hit, Ryan, if you could pull up the EIA number when you see that hit the tape. And I went to the 6 charts for you guys out there. So what I did is I did like tech names on the bottom, SOXL on the left hand, Nvidia in the middle down, and AMD on the bottom right. Top right, we got some oil trades. We got Oxy in the top middle. We got XOM, and to the left, on the top, we got the overall market, the SPY here. So let's see what happens. Let's take some shots. If you guys have anything that you guys see moving, throw it up in the chat. It could definitely help us.
Chilled Monkey was on phase here. He was talking about, we actually didn't check on that one earlier. Looks like it busted through the 574 resistance there and really just kind of spiked up. Been riding above VWAP since this morning. Really nice, just kind of rode that VWAP up there on phase. Good trade there, Chilled.
Beach Bum coming in with our inventories here at negative 1.35 million versus 2.05 million expected. That should give us a little bit of a raise. Let's see what happens here. Going to look at the GUSH monster and thinking about which one do I take here now. I got to go ahead and determine it really quickly. I like that washout of MRO. MRO is probably one that I'm going to be looking at right here. I'm going to look to see if I can get the 245 and risk off the 2633s here. Just need a little bit of a pullback towards the 2650 or the 2645 here so that I can get a good risk to return and see if it can drive.
Shout out to Beach Bum. I was talking about phase there, and he called the number that you told me to watch. So Beach Bum, much appreciate the backup there. That's
so we
what
got team
in this community. That's what we do.
I got a team, man. It's a tough one to call here. I don't want to overextend myself and see 60 and then let it go back right towards that 40. I mean, it might be a little bit picky here, and that I'm feeling myself being a little bit picky. So sometimes, you know, that can happen where you're just trying to be too picky on entry. But it should give us a little bit of a lift. So we did recover there, but no spike on that number, right? It wasn't like a immediate move like we got when we hit that 10 a.m. number. All right, entry starter on MRO. Got the 2651s. Starter on. So I want to see some oil names start getting a little bit of a push. XOM through the VWAP, back up through 98.50 would be a really nice look there also.
So with CRKN, when this one is just as high as 48 cents here, Becca, did you play this? Because this was also, Mitch, you're asking for where the upside stocks are. I know this one doesn't fit my criteria here because of its penny nature, but this was a great mover. We're up 130% here. This was called early by our chatter. Becca, wondering if you took this. If you did, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, Becca seemed to do good with those lower names, and you always got to find what works for you. I think that she's clearly finding that that's working for her. So, I mean, that's what it's all about. Find what works, team, and always try to do it with the smallest amount of money possible. Once you figure out what works, then you can try to make money. At first, and this is going to sound bad, at first, your job as a trader is not to lose money. And I'll say it again. As a trader, especially beginner, your first job is not to lose money. Then it's to make a little bit. And then eventually you can turn that making a little bit into making a lot.
And so, Mitch, I'm really glad that you said that. Anytime I hear somebody say that, I get really excited, because when I first started this, like when I was talking to my friends about stocks, I'd been interested in stocks going all the way back to high school, but I really didn't have much exposure to it. One of my friends, who was older than I am, was a trader at the time. And I said, "What kind of advice do you have for me?" He said, "Brian, you need to learn how to lose money first." And I said to myself, that seems wrong. That seems backwards. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I started trading, and I found out real quickly what he meant. Got to be able to protect your capital. If you don't have money to trade, you're out of the game. So you have to learn how to keep that around. You have to learn how to admit when you're wrong. You have to learn how to get out of bad trades before they end up wrecking you. That's how you learn how to not lose. Once you have that consistent, then, as Mitch said, you can start hitting little gains and then start extending those gains. It was great advice that I didn't understand when it was given to me first. And now I preach it to anyone I talk to.
All right, looking to see if MRO can take a lead.
You can't win a race unless you can finish the race. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Mitch, but
no, you're good.
That nailed me right there.
I like it. I think it's important. Gene talking about how he teaches that for poker. Learn to survive, then learn to thrive. 100%. Those are the two things. First, survival's first. You can't survive. How the hell do you think you're going to thrive? Corporate worker says, I call BS. No reason to lose money. Well,
that's what we're trying to say.
No. I think there is a reason to lose money. It's the only way you can learn how to lose.
Well, that's I think that what the claim is saying is that you have to learn how to not lose money. Once you learn that successfully, then you can put the pieces of the plan in place to end up making more money. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but to me, that's what I got from it. There is no reason to lose. Learning how to lose is another word for saying learning how to lose safely so that you can keep playing and you can keep going back and hitting those trades.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone got into this business to try and lose.
Yeah, and I think one of the things there, all right, so now I'm seeing XOM lead. I'm sorry, guys, just going to pay attention here. Add to my MRO here, just added at the 53, so average set there at 52. So 26.52. Now let's look to see if MRO can continue to lead. So MRO is this chart right here in the top. So that green above the VWAP, I want to see it hold VWAP now and try to take out the highs. That's the leader for me in the oil game, XOM. Going to look for the same thing to happen now for Oxy as a little bit of a lag. Get back above the VWAP and hold. Finger.
Finger took out that 733 to 759 range that we literally talked about what feels like 5 minutes ago. We're currently at 8 here.
Ooh, it's moving.
Huge move up here on Finger.
Those hourly pullbacks, man. I'm telling you, those hourly pullbacks on the cheaper names. I need to start doing a little bit of a strategy towards that and just trying to do some swing trades on just like very tiny sizing with using that hourly low that I'm trying to get into this. So if I would have seen this in the yesterday's action, I would say the hourly low is towards 507, and you have some resistance in the first kind of candle that was closer towards, let's say, the 5, and then the resistance up there towards 535. It held that prior resistance, made it new support. You could have gotten in there somewhere in the 550s, even risking to 5, and gotten a move back to 8, right? Does that make sense risk to rewards wise? Yeah, it does. So the key there is you have to have very small sizing. It's the only way you're going to be able to play something like that. And so let's say for me, what would I take there? Well, what would be a risk of 30 or 40 cents that I'm okay with? Well, it would be something.
Halted too. I don't know if I called that, but it's halted right now.
Yeah, I could see it definitely slowed down there. But trades like that, I have still a tendency to find consistently, especially with these smaller names. They wash out those retail traders that are on the smaller time frame, catch the bigger time traders, and then make a run.
Chris Woods asking if there's news on Chewy. I don't see any here.
Chewy. Chew. Ooh, nice little hold there for Chewy.
I don't see any. Let me look.
Ooh, nice VWAP bounce trade there. Man, do I want to take another trade? That's a setup that I like there. Remember, 3 times to break through the VWAP. 1, 2, 3, reversal style action towards the VWAP. Literally one of my favorite style patterns. And it doesn't mean that you guys need to go after this, but I look for that all the time. 3 attempted breakdowns to the VWAP. It has to be that reversal style candle, which you get the bullish engulfing candle in the last 2 minutes, or actually the last 6 minutes.
Chris, I don't see any news out there on Chewy. If anyone, I'll put that call out to the group here. If anyone else sees that, shout it out here. I don't see any. Looks like this is just a move, a technical move.
Gene talking about, I don't know if you were trying to highlight something.
Nope, I was trying to take it off.
Yeah, Gene talking about how he's been teaching himself for about a year and a half, and survival has been the main goal. Stock trading is much harder than poker, but it's the same type of money game. I'm just getting consistency. And I think that's awesome, man. Honestly, take as long as you need to find that consistency. And of course, like I've mentioned, a lot of times we want to do that with the least amount possible, because once we find that consistency, then we can go into thriving stage. Then we can worry about actually stacking up money, right? At first, it's just learning how to play the game. Let's just be honest. It's like if someone gave me the opportunity to get into a, let's say, major level sport. Yeah, at first, what you want to do as, let's say, a new up and coming athlete or something going into a league, what do you want to do? You want to survive in the league first. You just want to be there to where they're not going to knock you back down to the minor leagues. Then you learn how to thrive at that level. It's not going to be where you can just step up to a major league style level and be the best at it, right? This is the majors right here, trading right here. And the thing about this is that there's no minor leagues. And so you're stepping up to the major leagues. Big thing here, you want to learn to survive. Then we can play with those people that are thriving.
I can relate this to the Chicago Bears really quickly. They drafted a punt returner wide receiver named Velus Jones, and he started for the first time this past Sunday. And he muffed a punt that caused the Bears to lose their opportunity to try and tie and win the game at the end.
Taking big shot here, just added.
Before you can learn to run punts and kickoffs back for touchdowns, you have to learn how to catch the damn ball. Right? So you have to learn some of those fundamentals before you're able to do some of the cool things that are going to result in a bunch of profits. That's how I would relate it back to the market. Still salty about that dropped punt, though. Just saying.
XOM pushing. Oxy above VWAP. I just added there on MRO. Average is closer towards, let's get you guys the average. We're towards 26.54 now. Averaged up, and I did all 3 of my buys. And I can't size up any more than this. So it's now go or no go. And we'll see what happens.
Fingers open.
Here.
Finger is open.
Finger.
We're going higher on finger. God, this thing is just what a ripper. I wish that I felt more confident to trade some of this speculative stuff, but
it's tough, man. It's tough.
It's tough. It's tough. That's it.
Like on names like this, like, so you can easily have a $1 move, which is 12.74%. You need to learn how to get around that. The only way I see it is low sizing. And so that's why I don't play these, because then it's just, I'm kind of on a wait and see game with these. I don't like playing that game, but that's the only way I see it, because when you go into high sizing in the name like that can drop 15% in less than a minute, you're going to be needing to be lightning fast. I try my best not to get in any trade that I have to be lightning fast.
So me too, Mitch. And here's this is another good observation here by Gene. I'd like to second this. The real obstacle is overcoming the psychology of struggle. Finding a pleasant pace helps thinking of it as a game. Move quickly, but never in a hurry. So the way I take that, Gene, is kind of what Mitch was just saying. I try to trade the things that move at a pace I'm comfortable with. That's the pleasant pace that you mentioned there in that. Yep. I try to not go after too many things, and I try to not go after things that are moving too quickly, because I know that that's going to take me out of the best zone that I'm in for trading. So I end up missing moves like finger. The finger is a great example. The stock's moving around like crazy today. I missed this, but I'm okay with that because I know that I would have been ripe for mistakes had I have tried to rush it or not have the right plan. So I know that there will be more opportunities, and I will try to prepare as best I can for future opportunities.
Oil not really getting the lift that I expected. XOM is getting the lift there. It got the lift from around 97 towards 97.76, almost 97.80s there. But not seeing the other ones follow. So let's see what happens here. The ticking time bomb is really starting to push. On the 1 minute, I have a smaller time frame pattern, right? I have an up 1, down 1, and up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. And so at this point, I wouldn't want to see it break 2640s or 2645s. Let's see it kind of hold there and take that breakout. Let's see what happens. MRO. Trying to go on a marathon. Trying to run. Tesla getting the drill down today. Yes, it is. It's continued down towards 235. Like a
staircase down, man. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a great buy yesterday, right?
Oh, Mitch.
Oh man, but she wasn't the only one. I also saw some popular Twitter accounts talking about a swing trade buy at 3 p.m. yesterday. Didn't go that well. That's just how it is, man. And especially when you try to copy trade, I feel like a lot of times I see these FinTrade guys, they see like Kathy or something make a position, and then they're like, well, yeah, I'll go with her. She knows more than I do. Well, I don't know if that's really true. XOM now to 98. Look at that one. That was the best one to call on that move. It really wasn't the one that I got into. As you can see, MRO hasn't gone anywhere. Oxy hasn't gone anywhere. XOM was the one that got the push. Let's see how the GUSH is doing. GUSH is not looking too bad. That one did get a little bit of a push. But man, that one dropped off so fast earlier. It's tough.
Take care of yourself. Easy, Mike. Thanks for joining us again today.
Always.
Love the support.
INDO says Gary Wilson. I know that sold off earlier. Maybe it's
Yeah,
going to get that
I'm checking it.
bounce.
Who's starting to curl here? So I'm wondering if some of these other stocks are doing the same thing. INDO actually in a better position here. Not only did it curl, it's actually moved back through its VWAP here. So I think you're looking for a push away from that VWAP. Highs here, 929, VWAP at 835.
Yeah, we need to see XOM try to push through the highs. That would be a good outlook to really just start seeing everything follow XOM as the leader today, and then everything else, the laggard, catching up to the leader. Only thing that's kept me is the plan, right? And that's how I have it on MRO. It shouldn't cut through to 26.45. So we only have a 13-cent risk here. We can get a nice little push. Let's see if we can get a nice little 30-cent push. SPY trying to hold down there. It held around the 371s. Seems like we're just having that down day. It could be coming back towards the mean. We'll see what happens, but it rejected from a move back above the 372 area. We'll see if it gets back above going to 372.50. That can give you some outlook that we're going to get back towards the VWAP. Look for the 2660s. They kind of push through on MRO, and then we'll really start getting into the profits. Let's see what happens here. Into the green, but not deep, as it just hasn't really kind of pushed up. XOM, what does it do? It pushes up there through the 98s. Can we get to a new high on XOM? That'd be a good outlook. 98.55. Big level to watch. Watching end phase, maybe 3-day rule. Axe Benzinga. What's a 3-day rule?
Yeah, Brandon, those ENPH monthly calls that are a month out, they are expensive, no doubt. That is an expensive stock.
Yeah. Those solar stocks have a real strong tendency to kind of hold the trend when they make one, and then also break it just as vicious. All right, guys, it's getting towards 10:50, guys. If you guys have enjoyed our content today, we got about 10 minutes left here, so please do us a favor. Hit that like button. That really shows us that you guys appreciate us being here for you guys. Because truly, I mean, like you guys can probably see, Ryan and I could probably trade on the side and not have to worry about being here. But one of the things that we want to do, and the reason why I think Ryan and I do this every single day, is we want to pay it forward for you guys out there to kind of learn through our mistakes and our wins, and also keep working towards what we've talked about today. Survival first, moving into thriving stage later. And so we wish you guys the best. We're going to be here for you guys. We're going to show you guys different strategies. We're going to take different style trades. But in the end, we're here for process and process only. It's not about the returns, because if we make it about, returns, then hey, I could maybe do a percentage thing and make it sound like it's awesome. But the truth is, we're just trying to show you guys from process so that you guys can take your trading to the next level.
And I'd like to second that, Mitch. You said in there, we want to pay it forward. We absolutely want to do that. If I take a look at my own history with trading, I'm totally self-taught. Yeah, I studied finance and management when I was in college, but there are no classes on markets and how to trade and strategy and all that stuff. It's all self-taught. I learned a lot of stuff off YouTube. I learned a lot of stuff from people that have vastly more experience in this business than I do. And you know what? I learned probably my most valuable lessons from people that didn't ask for anything in return. And so when we're given an opportunity to come on here and outline process, analyze trades, talk about technical analysis, talk about news and how news affects the different instruments that it's reporting on, all of that stuff, I want to do the same thing. I want to pay that back forward. I was given knowledge by people smarter than me at no cost. I want to put that knowledge back out into the community at no cost. And that's why Mitch is always asking for likes, because it's a free way where you can support us. You can keep the show going, and we can keep giving you lessons and information at no charge.
Yeah, I definitely have made leaps and bounds in my trading, and that's a lot of the times just working through how we can get through certain environments, right? And I think that it's important to learn also how to be in a bear market and not lose a crap ton of money. And so that's what we're going through this year and really trying to learn how to battle there. Now we're getting that oil move to really start pushing XOM now towards 98.25, even made a move above that. Let's see if we can really start pushing through the 26.70 here as I look to take some profits as we keep going towards the 80. I want to take some profits into the 75, 26.80s. Then I can look for 27 and above.
Love hearing stuff like this, Blind Trader. Glad we were able to help. That is always what we're trying to do. Keep on rolling, man. You're an inspiration.
That's what it's all about. All right, trying to put an order out here.
Yeah, I'm probably done trading for the day here. I only have a half day today because I got a bunch of other stuff that I have to do this afternoon. Last thing that I want to do is be babysitting or constantly checking my phone because I'm worried about something. So
yeah,
probably done here for the day, but not for the week.
It happens when we go flat. A lot of the times we got to worry about other things. And that's one thing that you could also learn from us, right? There's a way to trade and then get out of the day. And that's going
There's also
flat.
a time to trade. There's
Yeah.
the right time to trade. And if you're about to leave the desk and you're not going to have access to your tools, might be a time to lighten up on the trading.
100%. Unless you're a swing trader and you maybe rely on some other moves. But like always, it's what you find out there. Just got half out there on MRO at the 26.75. And boom, got half of it out. Good profits on the day. From this point on, I'm golden on the day. Whatever happens, I'll be happy about. And there you go. Now we're getting towards the 26.77s. And wouldn't you know it, XOM trying to make a new high. Will we get through that? That's 98.55. We went to 98.48, almost towards that 98.50. And man, that really was the nice VWAP move. Look at that. That was a nice 1.27% move right back towards the highs.
So here, let me quantum. I heard on Squawk there was a nuclear leak where I think the Squawk that you're referring to was the leak at a German nuclear power plant in, oh God, I can't even pronounce this, Brunsbüttel on September 28th in restricted area of reactor building. I think that's what you're referring to.
Is it in Germany?
Yeah. German
Okay.
nuclear power plant. Brunsbüttel.
That calls signs of concern, right? A lot of people are calling for nuclear energy as a way to get around what's going on at this moment, right? The battle for natural gas, the battle for oil, the battle for pretty much all things fossil fuel. So not something that we want to be seeing. Will it really affect the stocks? I'm not sure. I wouldn't think so. Depends how serious the nuclear leak was.
You got it, Quantum. Hopefully that's helpful.
As long as it's not Russia, says the blind trader. Yeah, I would agree with that. As long as it's not Russia.
All right, Mitch, I'm going to hop here for the day.
Have a good one, my friend.
Out with you. Great hanging out with the community. Sorry, my trading performance today was subpar, but 2% better tomorrow. We will keep working at it. Stay green, stay safe, and we will see you all tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
Have a good one, Ryan. Ryan's getting on out of here. I'm going to stick around for another 4 minutes as we get you guys over to Benzinga Live that will be starting up at 11 a.m. Don't miss AB. He has a great guest on. It's going to be on earlier, so don't miss it. He has some guests that will be on, I believe, at 11:05 or 11:15, so you don't want to miss that. Some great guests that he was even telling me, like, Mitch, can you end early today? I want to get to my guest. I was like, I got you, man. Let's get on over to Benzinga Live. That's going to be in about 4 minutes. Going to keep trading here on the MRO trade, looking to see if we can work our way towards that 27. We did turn around right around the high there for XOM, 98.50. Didn't get through that 98.55, so just getting a little bit worried here that we're going to turn back around here. So we might need to take a little bit more profit right around here, but just looking to see if we can get that nice little push. At least right here, I'm still in a 2-to-1, but I like the 3-to-1 trades. Those are the 26.80s. I could take most of it off there and just let the rest of it work. Took off a good amount at 26.75, half of it. So let's see if we can get through that 26.80s and really just maybe just bank and get out. This market has been one of those markets that every time I look for those, nice big expansion moves, it's just been too hard to get. All right. Always here for you guys. And like always, we're going to keep battling and trying to get our skills to the next level. So we'll see what happens there. Jay Wild, like always, good to have you in the chat. Blind Trader, even OP. Don't worry. I still love you, dude. It's okay to, call me a clown. I'll get over it. I don't worry about name calling. One thing I will do is keep being here for you. And just like I'm here for everybody else, we'll keep battling. The Blind Trader, Quantum, Psychotropic Thunder. Man, you're killing me with that name right there. Ruben Johnson, good to see you. Seekin, Crypto Taurus, Backstrap out there. Jay Rice, Richard, Becca, Buzz. It's always good to see you guys in the chat. I'd love to see you guys actually taking part, trying to help each other out, calling catalysts that are moving, numbers that are hitting the tape. This all helps us all be a better community to help each other get to the next level, which is what we're all about. Louis, good to see you out there too. MD, Neil. Hey, Andy, appreciate you guys sticking around with us today. We'll get you on over now to Benzinga Live, wrapping up 10:59. We'll see what happens in that MRO position. I'm going to hold on for right now. Break even on the rest, no matter what. Not going to lose a single cent on the day. Had a good green day, even though the SPY's red, right? We don't always have to be in the red. Brian, well, you can always reach out to me, Money Mitch. I'll try to do my best to definitely get you guys always to the next level. Hit the like Neil Johnson says, and I'll bring you guys over to Benzinga Live. It's coming on next. See you next time right here on Live Trading with Benzinga. Don't miss later today, 1 p.m. Eastern. I will be back with Stock Market Movers. That's where I go through all the headlines and the market action that was in the day, and of course get to expert opinions to keep you guys an informational edge.